friends, welcome to Coding House YouTube channel. In this video, I will explain you a lead code problem, majority element. So in this question, we will get an array of nums and its sizes n, and we have to return the majority element. So majority element is the element that appears more than n by 2 times. So you can take this example 1. So in this example, we have an array in which we have 3 elements and the size of this array is 3. So when we will take the half of the array size, 3 by 2 is 1. If any element is repeating more than one time, so that element is the majority element for this array. So here 3 is repeating 2 times, so it's mean that 3 is the majority element for this array. So first write the program. So in the program, first I will take a if condition. Suppose we only have one element in the array. So if nums dot length is equal to 1, so what we have to do? So in that case, we will return the first element of the array, which is at index 0. And after that, if we have more than one element in the array, so if we sort the array first, then we can easily find that majority element. I will use here sorting function arrays dot sort, and in this I will pass nums array. After that, I will take two variables, int c equal to 0 and x equal to 0. So in this variable c, I will check the count of the element, and in this x variable, I will store the element which is the majority element. Then I will take a for loop for int I equal to 1 and I less than nums dot length and I plus plus. After that, in this for loop, I will take some if statement. If nums of I is equal to nums of I minus 1. So in that case, c will increment, and in the x variable we will store that element, so x equal to nums of I minus 1. Else if c is larger than nums dot length divided by 2, so in that case we will break our for loop, and in the else part we will set value of c equal to 0, and in the last we will return our element x. Now let's run this program. So you can see that our program is working fine. Let's see how this program is working. So I have taken this array in which we have 7 elements, and there are 2 and 1 which are repeating multiple times. So first I have taken if statement. If nums dot length equal to 1, so length of this array is not equal to 1, so this if condition is false and it will not execute. After that, we are sorting our array. So after sorting, this array will become like this. Then I have taken two variables, c and x. So we have a c variable and a x variable, and the value of these variables are 0 and 0. After that, I have taken a for loop. So this for loop is starting from 1 and not from 0. So I is starting from 1. Then it will check here I is less than nums dot length. So length of this array is 7. So value of I is 1. So yes, it is less than 7. Then it will go inside this for loop. So now I have taken if statement here. If nums of I equal to nums of I minus 1. So I is 1. So at index 1 we have 1, and at index I minus 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So at index 0 we also have 1. So this if condition is right, then c will increment, so c will become 1. After that, in this x variable we will store this element which is present at index I minus 1. So at index 0 we have 1. So now in the variable x we have 1. Then the rest of this statement will not execute. After that, I plus plus. So now I will become 2. Now it will again check that I less than nums dot length. Yes. Now it will check in this if statement. If nums of I is equal to nums of I minus 1. So at index 2 element is 1, and at index I minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1. So at index 1 element is also 1. So this if condition is right, so c will increment and it will become 2. After that, in the x variable we will store this element from I minus 1. So 2 minus 1 means element at index 1, which is 1. So value of x will remain 1 as it is. After that, I plus plus. Now I will become 3. After that, it will check here I is less than nums dot length. Yes. So then it will check in this if statement. So now you can see that at index 3, so at index 3 we have 2, and at index I minus 1, 3 minus 1 is 2, at index 2 we have 1, so 1 is not equal to 2, so this if statement will not execute. Then it will check here, else if c is larger than or equal to nums dot length divided by 2. So when we divide 7 by 2, so we will get 3. So you can see that value of c is 2 and it is not larger than or equal to 3, so this else if condition is also false. Then this else condition will execute and it will set the value of c equal to 0. After that I plus plus, so now I will become 4. Now it will again check that I less than nums dot length, yes. Now it will check the element at index 4 and I minus 1, so 4 minus 1 is 3. So at index 4 element is 2 and at index 3 element is also 2, so these elements are equal, so this condition is right. Then c will increment, so c will become 1, and in the x variable we will store the element from I minus 1, so 2 will get stored in this x variable. After that I plus plus, so I will become 5, so it will again check here I is less than nums dot length, yes. Then it will check in this if statement. So at index 5 element is 2 and at index I minus 1, so 5 minus 1 is 4, so at index 4 element is also 2, so these elements are equal. Then c will increment, so c will become 2. After that in the x variable we will store this element, so in the x variable 2 will remain as it is. After that I plus plus, so now I will become 6, so it will again check here I is less than nums dot length, yes. 6 is less than 7. Then in the if statement it will check, so at index 6 element is 2 and at index I minus 1, so 6 minus 1 is 5, element is also 2, so this condition is right. And c will increment, so c will become 3, and in the x variable we will store this element at index I minus 1 which is 2, so in the x variable 2 will remain as it is. After that I plus plus, so I will become 7. After that when this for loop will again check that I is less than nums dot length, so now I is 7 and length of this array is also 7, condition is false, and this for loop will break. And after that we will return our x variable in which we have 2. So this is how this program is working, and the time complexity of this program will be big of n log n, because here we are using the arrays dot sort function, and the space complexity will be big of 1, because here we are only using 2 extra variables. Now let's submit our program. So you can see that our program has submitted successfully. Thanks for watching.